Now I want to go into a little more detail about sketch modeling. This is a really important tool in participatory design, as many people feel more comfortable expressing their ideas in 3 dimensions rather than 2, especially people with lower literacy levels, who may feel less comfortable sharing their ideas in a written format. We often find that sketch modeling brings together a team with diverse educational backgrounds. One of the most common uses of sketch models is to work out the geometric and dimensional details of your design. Here's a sketch model of a peanut sheller. It took about 15 minutes to make, using just a cardboard box, some sticks, and a scrap piece of PVC. While I was making it, I learned a lot about where the sticks should be placed, the size of the gap between the sticks, and how the handle should be. This allowed me to build the next model much more easily. This is a project for a cassava press from a workshop in Zambia. You can see how they made a cardboard sketch model in order to work out the details of the mechanism before investing more time and energy in the prototype. And now we're going to go to D-Lab, and I'll show you some more prototypes that we've used when working on participatory design projects in the field. Another use for sketch models is for gathering information. This is one of my favorite sketch models, so I want to take you to D-Lab to show it to you in more detail. This is an example of a sketch model that was developed by an IDDS team in Zambia. Their project was looking at post-harvest losses, and they wanted to find out, where did farmers lose the most grain? And so they built this sketch model to engage with the farmers and get that information. They made this sketch model using a lot of creative materials. As you can see, they made the back out of foam using a hot wire cutter to cut out these holes. And they used creative materials to show the field, the primary storage, the processing plant, the secondary storage, the transport, and then finally the market. So they took this to a community meeting and they asked farmers about their post-harvest losses and where they thought they lost the most grain. Was it in the fields or in the storage? Was it during processing or in the secondary storage? Was it in transport or was it at the market? And what they did was they used this as a way for farmers to share that information by voting. They voted with kernels of corn, and they put kernels of corn in the holes depending on where they thought they lost the most grain. And they were able to indicate the biggest losses in these different stages. If they felt that they lost it during processing, they would put kernels of corn there. If they felt it was during secondary storage, it would be here. In transport, they could even put corn kernels on the road. What the team found was that the majority of farmers actually felt that they lost the most grain in the primary storage. So the team was able to gather a lot of information from more than 50 farmers in just a short period of time through this creative tool. And they identified that the biggest source of loss was in the early stages of storage. And so the team was able to concentrate their efforts on improving this storage system that farmers use right after harvesting the corn, but before they processed it. And this was a great tool for helping them to frame the problem and really do an effective job of creating a solution. This team was able to take their sketch model to the community and engage with many different farmers and get their feedback in a really cost-effective and time-effective way. Rather than doing surveys with each individual farmer, they had the farmers come up, share their opinions about post-harvest losses, and in less than an hour, they had input from more than 100 farmers. Another use of sketch modeling is just to present your ideas to other people so that they can get a sense of what you're thinking about. This is a sketch model that shows how shipping containers could be transformed into community workspaces and bulletin boards. Sketch modeling is a great way to map out resources and assets of a community. This is an example of a sketch model that was built to work on a school nutrition project. And so they were able to identify every part of the village that might have an impact in terms of improving nutrition of school children. Sketch models can also be used to share information. This is a visual representation of rainfall patterns in the Padere district of Uganda that was developed for one of our design summits there. Another important use of sketch models is engaging community members. This is a project from Brazil where we were working on urban agriculture, and we built a sketch model so that community members could build their own gardens and show us where they would position them, either on the house or in their yard.